Hello and welcome back. I know it's been a little while, but I'm finally back. I originally missed my upload day because I was having a lot of trouble with the video I was working on. It just wasn't working out, and so I decided to take a short break, and then because I have terrible karma and every single bit of technology I have breaks all the time, my microphone broke. And so I thought maybe that was the end of my channel, and I was really sad because I couldn't afford a new mic. But thankfully, my best friend Ash bought me a new mic literally the instant they heard me complaining about the mic breaking and not being able to afford one. They were just like, here you go. So shout out to them, love them. Also shout out to my other bestie Bun and my partner Cypher, also love them because they also tried to offer to help pay for a new one, but they were beat out because they asked, and I hesitated to say yes, but Ash didn't ask and they just kind of did it. So shout out to all three of them, love you! So this video is not the video I was originally trying to make a couple weeks ago because I wanted to avoid having that same struggle that I was having, and I wanted to do something simple and fun to get back into the swing of things. So this video is an old drawing of my One Piece characters, although it's just the coloring process because I didn't hit record for the line art and stuff. I'm currently super hyperfixated on One Piece and I love my characters, so I figured it would just be like a nice easy thing for me to talk about them, and I hope you enjoy. This is the Flower Pirates. They are some of my One Piece characters, although most of my other characters are in crews with my friends' OCs, so this crew is my only solo crew right now, where all the OCs belong to me. And I love them dearly. They were also my first One Piece characters. So the one in the front left is the captain. His name is Flores de Alejo, and he loves flowers, hence the whole theme of the crew. The guy to his right is his first mate and also sniper. His name is Roscoe Leilani. And the girl in the back middle is their doctor. She is Rehea Amore, the first one I designed actually. And then the girl on the left is Sirhen Andine, their navigator. And then finally the girl on the right is Pira their cook. The Flower Pirates are a small crew, but they love each other deeply and they always protect each other, and they especially love their captain Flores. They always make sure to commit to his bit of loving flowers, hence the pose. They're making a flower together. Oh, they're just so cute and I love them. Flores and Roscoe are childhood friends. They grew up together on the same island, an original island I made up called Andine. It is in the East Blue. It was a very small island with only a few towns in it, but it was very, very prosperous with flowers. They all had beautiful gardens. Everyone was obsessed with flowers on the island. They had a yearly festival, the Flower Festival. Unfortunately, one year it burnt down. Flores lost his home and his auntie, who he lived with at the time. And he dedicated his life after that to studying flowers and how he can grow them and fix the island. But then once that was all done, he wanted to explore the world and find all the flora. His dream is to explore every single island and explore all the flora and fauna on that island, like every island. And Roscoe, he grew up not as obsessed with flowers as Flores is, obviously, but he grew up on the island, so he has a connection with flowers, and he loved to paint flowers, and he wanted to be a painter. But the night of the fire that burnt down the festival, his parents were murdered by a Marine while he was hiding, and he watched them die. Kind of sad, tragic. And in the scuffle, the Marine dropped his gun, and so Roscoe, once the Marine left, took that gun, and he decided that instead of being a painter, he was going to hunt this Marine down and kill him with his own gun, which he called the Oath. And it's very tragic, and he always says his dream is to get revenge, but really his dream is to be a painter, and his revenge dream is not very healthy. And he has not told Flores this, but he actually suggested to Flores them becoming pirates because he wanted to hunt down the Marine, and he knew that being a pirate meant the Marines would come to him and it would be easier. So Flores is like, yeah, let's be pirates, let's explore every island. And Roscoe's like, yeah, I want to paint all the flowers, but secretly I just want to kill the person that killed my parents. And also, as a fun little tidbit, Roscoe is deeply in love with Flores, and it's completely unrequited, and Flores plays dumb to it, but he actually does know, and it's kind of sad and tragic, and I love them so much. I love their story. They're very, very close. It was a lot. So the next person to join their crew is Rehea Amore, and she was actually the first one I designed, like I said. And originally when I designed these characters, I thought to myself, One Piece is not very accurate. Nami wears jeans all the time, so I can just put them in whatever outfits I want. But then after a while, it started to bother me that they just kind of looked like some guys instead of pirates, so I redesigned them to look a little bit more pirate-ish. It's obviously not super accurate, but it's slightly more accurate than it was. Rehea is the doctor of the crew, and she originally grew up in the North Blue on another original island called Sanguine. And Sanguine was a tiny island, even smaller than Andine, and it is dedicated to a cult. This cult worshipped blood and the blood goddess, which of course Rehea was forced to be the blood goddess. Due to her devil fruit, the blood fruit, which is a Logia type, so she is made of blood and she can control blood, etc. She comes from a long line of blood goddesses, and the only sure way to get someone to inherit a devil fruit, specifically in One Piece, is for that person to eat the owner of the devil fruit. So that's what she was forced to do at a young age, and of course, she does not enjoy this, so she dedicates her life to trying to escape. Eventually, a pirate crew lands on the island, which includes Azul Amore, a doctor, who mentors Rehea while they're there, and teaches her medicine and tries to help her escape, but of course the cult does not like that, so they Azul, and they of course make Rehea eat her. And so Rehea redoubles her efforts to try and escape, and eventually when she's 18 she finally escapes. Then she spends the next 9 years dedicating herself to learning medicine, and she also changes her name to Rehea Amore to honor her mentor. And her dream becomes that she wants to study medicine and she wants to publish medical books under the name Amore to spread the knowledge and to spread her mentor's name. Rehea is also the strongest fighter on the team, but she refuses to fight, not for any moral reasons, not because she's the doctor, but because she doesn't want to mess up her hair or her outfit. She's very, very vain, but it's deserved because she's beautiful and I love her and she loves the crew. She didn't intend to join the crew at first. Flores sees her tattoo, which is a flower, because when she was young, her dad nicknamed her Flower. And so Flores sees the tattoo and decides it's fate. She has to join the crew because this is the flower crew and Rehea has a flower tattooed on her. So Rehea joins temporarily to sort of help them on their journey a little bit, teach them a bit of medicine, and then the longer she spends with them, the more fond she grows of them, and the more she realizes that they will not survive without her because they're dumb and reckless, and she's a doctor, so she can help them. And so she eventually decides to join the crew for real, and she has never once regretted it. She loves them and she loves her crew dearly. Rehea also loves her partner, who is Cassia, an OC belonging to Ash, who is on a different crew, the Birds of Paradise. And she also grew up on Sanguine, and I just think it's a little bit hilarious that Cassia managed to escape her cult, be free, become a pirate, and then she ended up dating literally the goddess of her cult, who also escaped. And on another note, I just recently redrew this Nami art spread with Rehea and her crew, and then her crew's siblings and partners. And it is so beautiful, and I didn't record the process, and I'm so sad, but it is so beautiful, I just had to share. And this was after a month of not drawing, so I'm impressed with myself. Anyways, back to business. The next member of the crew is Sirhen Andine, and she is their navigator, but she's also a mermaid. She grew up on Fishman Island with her twin sister, and they shared a dream to explore the world once they turned 30, because according to One Piece lore, once mermaids turn 30, they gain legs. But also, according to One Piece lore, mermaids are very sought after and they get captured and sold a lot, and so it's very dangerous to live as a mermaid. And unfortunately, Sirhen and Adair were not careful. They would surface a lot, and so eventually they got captured by pirates. But instead of being sold, the pirates kept them to put them on display as decoration. Adair was taken by the captain and Sirhen was taken by the navigator and put on display in his office, which is how she learned to navigate because she could pretty much only watch him work for her whole life. She was trapped there for 18 years until she turned 30 and gained her legs, which is when she escaped and fought them and got rid of them. And she looked for her sister, but she found out that her sister escaped some years ago and she had no idea where she was anymore. But instead of letting this get to her, she decided that now that she had legs and she was 30, she would follow their original dream and explore the world. So she spends the next 6 years exploring the world, and she gets a lot of tattoos because she wants her appearance to be for herself rather than other people. One of these tattoos is a flower tattoo on her neck, which of course you can see where this is going. Flores sees the flower tattoo and again decides it's fate and she has to join the crew. Of course, because of her past being trapped on a pirate ship for 18 years, she doesn't trust them immediately, but they bond a lot because of their shared want to explore the whole world. And eventually Sirhen realizes that he can be trusted, and so she joins the crew officially and she helps them explore the world as their navigator, and they help her also to look for her sister. Unfortunately for them, Adair went a different direction after she escaped. She blamed pirates for her capture, so she becomes a marine. So that family reunion is gonna be a little bit rough with one marine sister and one pirate sister. Sirhen also has a love interest who is also on the Birds of Paradise crew. Her name is Laura, and she is my friend Mo's character, and they also have a very similar backstory and similar goal, so it's kind of like a little bit beautiful that they found each other. I just love them. The fifth and final member of the Flower Pirates is Pira, and she is their cook. She was also originally designed by my friend Mo, shout out Mo. And also, literally in the middle of recording this, I discovered that the devil fruit I gave her already exists in One Piece, and I've literally drawn her using it exactly how the guy uses it, so I'm gonna have to change that, but I'm really sad because it's so important to her story, so I don't even know what to do, but I'm just gonna continue as if that's not true, and I guess I'll figure it out later. But Pira grew up on an island called Alimento along with her family. It is a neighboring island to Andine, and her father used to be a famous fire dancer and her mother used to be a famous traveling cook until they found each other and they met and fell in love, and then Pira's mother's health started declining, so they decided to retire to Alimento, and they run a restaurant on the island now. And due to his past fame, the family was invited to Andine for the flower festival, and everyone except Pira's mom got to go because she wanted to stay back to run the restaurant, and also her health was not the best. So the family goes, and while there, Pira was supposed to find a devil fruit called the plant fruit that allowed her to become flowers and plants of various types, but I guess I have to change that now. Anyways, while also there, Cyrus, her brother, accidentally does cause the fire that I mentioned in Flotus and Roscoe's backstory, which is very tragic. Their father dies due to it, and the only reason Pira survives is Cyrus saves her. And then years later, their mom also dies due to her declining health. And because of that, Pira takes over the restaurant because she loves to cook. Her mother taught her to cook and she follows her mother's recipes. Cyrus goes a different route. He decides he wants to be a famous fire dancer like his father, and he becomes a pirate so that he could travel the world and become famous. He joins the Birds of Paradise, which you might recognize as well. And Pira discovers while running the restaurant that her mother's dream used to be to explore the world and find as much recipes as she can, but because of her health, she couldn't do it anymore. And so Pira secretly yearns to escape as well and finish her mother's dream, but she's too anxious, she's constantly scared, so she never does it until the Flower Pirates visit her. And it used to be that Flores sees her devil fruit and is like, oh my god, yoink, you're mine now, but I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. Anyways, so they visit and they convince her to join, and because of them, she finally gets the courage to leave and finish her mother's dream, which is, again, finding as much recipes as she can. So they explore the world together. Pira also has a love interest. His name is Reese, and he's on a pirate crew themed after the 7 deadly sins, and his sin is gluttony, and she's the cook, he's gluttony. Isn't that perfect? I love them. Okay, I did not plan this video well or do any timing properly, so that's all. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time, hopefully.